Segment 1. Trump tariffs go global. India and Switzerland taste the tension. Welcome to Klepper's Corner, where if it's on fire, it's probably a metaphor for the economy, democracy, or Trump's Twitter fingers. Let's jump right in with the big story of the day. President Trump has once again fired the magical trade cannon and hit not one, but two countries in the face. India and Switzerland woke up to the geopolitical equivalent of being rear-ended by a gold-plated monster truck named Tariff Smash. Trump accused India of being a bad trading partner because they bought Russian oil and dared to resell it for a profit, which, is kind of how capitalism works. So he's threatening very substantial tariffs. That phrase alone sounds like it should come with a warning label. May cause global instability, nausea, and long-term diplomatic damage. Meanwhile, Switzerland is getting a 39% tariff on their exports, nearly 4 times higher than Britain's. Even their chocolate can't sugarcoat that kind of burn. Trump says it's because of the $41 billion trade deficit, but Swiss officials pointed out that U.S. goods face virtually no tariffs in Switzerland and that they invest billions in U.S. research. Translation, please stop punching us, we brought cheese. Segment 2, Russia to U.S., quit bullying our oil buddies. The Kremlin is not loving the vibe either. Russian spokesman Dmitry Peskov accused the U.S. of using illegal trade pressure on India. He added that the U.S. is strong-arming countries to stop trading with Russia. And honestly, this is the geopolitical version of trying to cancel someone for hanging out with your ex. And here we are, watching economic diplomacy turn into a Real Housewives reunion special. Except instead of flipping tables, they're flipping entire trade alliances. Will Switzerland make peace with America over fondue? Will India sell oil to Mars just to avoid the drama? Stay tuned. Segment 3, India and the Philippines make it Facebook official. In response to global chaos, India and the Philippines decided to upgrade their relationship status from "it's complicated" to strategic partners. They're increasing military cooperation, which is code for "we're not saying it's about China, but it's about China." Modi said they're friends by choice and partners by destiny. That sounds like the tagline of a Netflix rom-com, but in this case, the meet-cute involves naval drills and anti-submarine warfare. And hey, if love languages include joint military exercises, these two are writing poetry with aircraft carriers. Segment 4, Netanyahu's Gaza gamble. Let's pivot to the Middle East, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is reportedly pushing for the full conquest of Gaza. His cabinet might back the plan, but here's the twist. The Israeli military and most of the public think it's a terrible idea. You know it's bad when your own army goes, "we'd rather not." The military is worried it'll kill hostages and deepen the humanitarian crisis, which, by the way, is already dire. Gaza's hospitals are out of shrouds. Shrouds. That's like a funeral home running out of tissues. Meanwhile, 75% of Israelis favor a ceasefire to get the hostages back. But Netanyahu, he's channeling his inner action movie star, aiming for a decisive victory before the credits roll. It's Die Hard diplomatic edition, except no one's cheering. Segment 5, airdrops and aid fails. On the humanitarian front, the situation in Gaza is Hunger Games without the glam. On August 5th, multiple nations dropped 110 aid packages over Gaza. Canada even joined in, yeeting 10,000 kilograms of food into chaos, except a lot of it landed in the Mediterranean, or in red zones where no one dares go. Imagine ordering DoorDash and your pizza lands in a minefield. Video from Zuwaida shows people fistfighting over aid, and this isn't Black Friday. This is survival. The UN calls airdrops costly, dangerous, and inefficient, which coincidentally is also how I describe my uncle's attempts at online dating. Segment 6, voter lists and grand juries, and Bondi, oh my bond. Back home, Attorney General Pam Bondi is launching a grand jury investigation into the Obama administration for alleged misconduct during the 2016 Russia probe. Yes, 2025 is really reaching back for those 2016 hits like it's a political version of a cover band. Meanwhile, the Justice Department is demanding voter registration files from at least 15 states. The concern? That they'll use them to question voter legitimacy, trigger purges, or worse, expose people to doxing. It's like political phishing, but instead of emails, they want your entire Democratic footprint. Segment 7, Visa Bonds, America's new entry fee. The State Department now wants tourists from high overstay countries to pay up to $15,000 as a refundable bond to visit the U.S. That's not a visa, that's a mortgage. This trial run of financial deterrence might make the Statue of Liberty swap her torch for an invoice. It's basically pay to stay, and if you don't leave, we keep the money. It's like Airbnb run by Border Patrol. Segment 8, Banks, Bias, and Bitcoin. The White House is prepping an executive order to investigate whether big banks discriminated against conservatives or cryptocurrency firms. The same conservatives who accuse banks of being part of the deep state are now asking those banks for a better Yelp review. This is less about protecting financial fairness and more about scoring points with crypto bros and Trump fans who felt debanked, which, by the way, sounds like something that happens after eating a Chipotle burrito. Segment 9, Rwanda takes our deportees. In migration news, the U.S. has struck a deal with Rwanda to accept deportees in small groups starting with 10. America's new strategy: if we don't know what to do with migrants, outsource the problem. It's like Amazon Returns, but with people. Ethically, this raises giant red flags. It's a logistical version of out of sight, out of mind, and a reminder that our immigration policy is being duct taped together with taxpayer money and diplomatic IOUs. Segment 10, the job market has trust issues. July job numbers were a letdown, only 73,000 jobs added. May and June revised downward by 258,000. That's not a slowdown, that's an economic faceplant. Blame the Trump trade wars. Factories are bleeding jobs, the federal government is trimming down like it's on keto, and the only real growth? Healthcare. Because we're all stressed out from this economy. Even Jerome Powell is probably Googling, what rhymes with recession? The Fed is now under pressure to cut interest rates in September, so buckle up. Because when the job market sneezes, the economy catches pneumonia. And right now, it's hacking up tariffs and political anxiety. In closing, that's it from Klepper's Corner today. If the world feels like it's being run by a fever dream inside a bureaucracy wrapped in a reality show, that's because it is. Stay skeptical, stay informed, and if you're traveling abroad, maybe bring chocolate. You might need it for negotiations. See you next time.